Beloved Saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Uzziah of the second period in the genealogy of Jesus, Part 2, from the fourth book of Redemptive History series, God's Profound and Mysterious Providence. Last time in Part 1, we examined how Uzziah sought the Lord and became prosperous. At this time in Part 2, let us learn how Uzziah became a leper because of his pride in the latter years of his reign, and share God's grace together. Uzziah was marvelously helped and became strong. However, when he became powerful, he also became proud. He entered the temple of God and attempted to burn incense on the altar of incense. Such actions were derived from extreme greed and pride, which sought not only royal authority but also priestly duties. Uzziah's attempt to usurp priestly rights was a blasphemous challenge against the absolute sovereignty of God. At that time, Azariah the priest, along with 80 other priests, tried to deter Uzziah from committing the treacherous act. This was God's way of giving Uzziah another chance to rethink his action. Everyone, whatever the situation may be, when we realize that a course of action is not the will of God, even if the warning comes from the lips of a child, we must heed such warnings and refrain from carrying through. However, Uzziah did not turn away from his course of action. Instead, he was infuriated at the priests and continued his attempt to burn incense on the altar. Ultimately, leprosy broke out on his forehead. He was then quickly rushed out of the temple because the Lord had smitten him with leprosy. From that moment on, he remained leprous until the day of his death, and he had to live in a separate house. Amos 1:1 and Zechariah 14 verse 5 allude to a great earthquake that took place during Uzziah's time. The historian Josephus explains that this earthquake happened in connection to the incident in which Uzziah was struck with leprosy while he personally tried to burn incense on the altar. In such a way, a leader's pride not only brings about misfortune in that person's life, it can also bring about great disaster to the whole entire nation, causing extreme pain and anguish to all. Everyone, Uzziah became king at the age of 16 and reigned for 52 years. His extended reign was an opportune time in which faith could have blossomed. However, due to the foolish pride of the powerful Uzziah, the faith of the entire nation had collapsed. 2 Kings 15 verses 3-4 states, Azariah, who was also called Uzziah, did right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaziah had done. Only the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense on the high places. According to this verse, it says that Uzziah tried to do right in the sight of the Lord. However, the high places were not removed. God does not approve of high places for worship. However, Uzziah left the high places alone so that people can worship or sacrifice to God in their own comfort, in the way they want to. That was not God's will. Everyone, a partial uprightness can lead to pride. Consequently, Uzziah did not receive God's help, but had all of his blessings taken away from him. Beloved saints, while Uzziah humbly sought the Lord, God's strength helped him. But when his heart was hardened and became proud, he stood in opposition to God. From King Uzziah's life, we need to realize what is more important than one's initial faith is to remain consistently unwavering in faith. while maturing in personal character, learning how to live in humility. Therefore, let us keep our faith unchanging until the end in humbleness. Let us all enjoy all of God's many blessings. I bless in the name of the Lord.